Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Crazy Ant Farm. Everybody knows we've been promoting it like crazy because, this man worked with the nicest man in Hollywood, Tom Hanks. But we got the one and only Joseph Poliquin coming on the show today.
Yes, a really entertaining interview.
Yeah.
This is the epitome of a guy who went for it and succeeded.
Yeah.
Every roadblock, every wall, everything that could happen to you to block you trying to chase the dream happened to this guy, and he pushed through all of it and is living a dream.
Yeah, I think that's what's most inspiring about this interview. He just always kept going. No matter what, he's still acting, and even though he might have had to go back to a day job and then go back to acting, bounce back and forth, but to have that, positive mental attitude to just be able to do that is amazing.
Yeah, and now he has a huge summer.
Exactly.
Huge film on Netflix. Tom Hanks' film on Apple. The guy's killing it. So.
Exactly. It's going to be later on the show, but now, let's get a little crazy. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Crazy Ant Farm. Holy moly, y'all. It is episode 122 this week. Absolutely insane. You guys see, at least if you're watching the YouTube, the channel, the NBA is back, so I'm wearing my jersey. Larry Bird.
I was wondering with the change. Yeah. It makes sense though.
It does.
Makes sense.
I'm super excited. I'm happy.
Go King James
back.
and the Lakers, right? Yeah.
Hell yeah. But man, we got some crazy ass shit to talk to you about. Before that, your host with the most, myself, JLo Fantastic, and the one and only Mouth.
What's up?
That's right, y'all. And of course, we're talking the biggest thing that's happened in Hollywood this past week was the SAG-AFTRA vote.
Yes.
That just everybody was either one side or the other, in the middle. It's absolutely wild. But we'll be talking about it a little bit. We'll be talking about streaming services, of course, Disney, WarnerMedia, HBO Max, all those good things. A little bit of Hallmark news because something happened that no one else saw coming and that no one knew about a few months ago.
Yeah.
But we'll be talking about that. But before we get that started, you guys know, be sure to head over to our website, crazyantmedia.com, where you can start rocking the latest and greatest Crazy Ant Media gear. You see the shirts, you see the hats, you hear the shirts, you hear the hats if you're listening on podcast platforms. But
they're talking. Hey!
Yeah, hey, look at us!
Hands down the best!
Oh, man. But you guys know they're great. So, and new designs up right now, so be sure to check those out. But yeah, like I said, like I teased, let's start it off with SAG-AFTRA. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Either way you fall on this thing, the crazy thing is that only 27.15% of the actual union turned out to vote.
Right. Now, this is really controversial. We're talking about their new film and television contract, okay? And it was ratified by a huge margin, almost 75 to 25. It was 74.2% yes, 25.8% no.
Yeah.
Now, if you followed any of it, there was back and forth. Just like during the president election with SAG-AFTRA, there was a whole lot, both factions, back and forth. The problem is that all the people that, wanted to vote no or said, oh, this isn't good, we shouldn't do it, I don't think a lot of them turned out because, like Logan said, less than 30% of the 140,000 members of SAG-AFTRA voted.
Yeah.
You cannot complain about how the vote went down if you didn't vote.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
It's I don't know what else to say. Look, there was a lot of controversial stuff. Residuals, nudity clauses, sexual clauses, everything. Health insurance, contributing to the health insurance plan. A lot of different things going into this contract. Logan and I read every little square inch of it. I will say this. It seemed to me that it was a bit unbalanced in the sense that if you were rocking and rolling with some money, right? Like you've reached that level in your acting career where you're kind of, you can pass on projects if you want to. You're not relying on, oh my gosh, where's my next job coming from type of a thing. I think this contract was okay.
Yeah, voting yes.
On the other side of that, it looked like if you're a working actor who's still relying on the residual, relying on I need a job every, then it seemed a bit unbalanced just from a layman reading it, you know.
I mean, in my opinion, I feel like since a lot of the working actors would have voted no on this thing, I feel like maybe a lot of the working actors were at like their day job at the moment, so maybe they didn't get a chance to vote. But I mean, that would also go to every other vote that happened because this was a record turnout, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
this thing, like what the hell's up with that?
20, like, let's see.
27,
Okay. Yeah,
15%.
yeah. So you're talking 140,000, right?
Yes, like let's see. Let's do the math. Let's do the math. But I mean,
That's 38,000 people, guys. 140,000 members. Only 38,000 voted.
Yeah.
Like, what?
yeah.
What?
Yeah, but it's absolutely wild, like you said. I mean, but that goes with real politics as well, like governmental politics. That I mean, a lot of people will talk the talk, but they will not walk the walk, as in going to the booth and actually
Right.
voting, or sitting down, reading this whole thing, and actually voting yes or no. So it's just crazy, man. It's crazy.
I think the biggest thing that we want to kind of just like wrap it up with the SAG-AFTRA stuff, though. The priority here is, guys, whichever side you were on, right? Whether you voted yes or whether you voted no, and kudos to you for voting, because that's
general,
what you're supposed to do. You need to inform yourself, because I feel like there was rampant misinformation on both sides, just going crazy. And you've got to inform yourself. You've got to educate yourself. Read the entire contract. Read every clause. Read every paragraph. Then make a decision. And whether you vote yes or whether you vote no, if you have educated yourself, informed yourself, and read the contract, and you feel comfortable in your vote, then good for you. That's how you're supposed to do it. If you can't have the time, like Logan said, maybe you're at a day job, maybe you're struggling to pay the bills and everything, find some people you trust. Listen to people who you trust, who have read the contract and who can explain it to you and everything. You can still educate yourself through them.
Exactly.
And then make the vote.
Exactly.
The worst thing you can do is believe back and forth without reading it yourself, and or just ignoring it and then not voting, because the Twitter feed lit up with everybody complaining that it passed the way that it passed. But guys, 27% voted, so you can't complain.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say. I feel bad for those who are upset about it. I feel great for those who are happy about it. But most of all, you have to vote.
Exactly.
That's all I can say.
If you want your voice to be heard, this is your way. This is your way.
Exactly.
So it was a crazy situation, absolutely insane. But moving on, now going to the streaming services. I mean,
my goodness.
This is by no surprise, but Netflix finished atop at the market again for the second quarter of the year, finishing nearly 32% of the market share. Prime Video settled in close second. I mean, which makes sense. We talk about it all the time. Prime Video is very much underrated, underestimated.
But the competitors are lining up.
They are.
And guys, if you add Disney Plus at 6.1% and Hulu at 18.6%, it's a neck and neck tie with Prime. Because remember, Disney is both Hulu and Disney Plus. That's all Disney. So you take both their streaming services, they're damn near tied with Prime, and I'm going to put on record, I think they pass Prime next time. They're gunning for Netflix, okay? And so while Netflix is still kicking ass, they're still doing really well. Disney is making moves, man. So you, like I said, you can't forget that both Hulu is fully Disney now and Disney Plus. So you have to look at those two numbers combined.
Yeah, well, I mean, a thing that I think would probably hold these two back would be the stalling of their projects that a lot of people are anticipating to come out. So that could possibly be a speed bump in the road that we don't know what's going to happen with that, but I mean, we shall see. I mean, a lot of people are still signing up for Disney Plus and doing the bundle package with Hulu and ESPN for Disney Plus.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that makes sense, but I do feel like if a lot of people are anticipating this certain content to come out and it doesn't, I mean, if you're an adult especially, you'd probably just back out.
Well, yeah, look, no doubt about it. I think a lot of people were pumped about the Marvel stuff, and the Marvel stuff is being delayed a lot. And we have another one that's been delayed that we're going to talk about in a couple of minutes. On the flip side of that, though, the good news is apparently there is a shit ton of Star Wars stuff coming that looks like it's going to pick up the pace and maybe carry it until the Marvel shit can get, back on track. Thankfully, a lot of the Star Wars stuff was animated, so that's not being affected by COVID. And season 2 of Mandalorian had already been shot, and into post-production prior to the whole shutdown. So thankfully, they've got that. I agree with you, though. I think that the delays and all that could hinder it, but hopefully Star Wars can hold them over enough.
Hopefully.
To get it.
We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Trying to be as non-biased as possible, but I mean, everybody knows we love Disney. So, yes. I mean, it is what it is. But this next one honestly surprises me. Producer and director Reginald Holden, whose credits include 2016 Oscars, will be the first ever black executive producer for the Primetime Emmys.
Yeah.
What the hell?
He's going to executive produce side by side with Jimmy Kimmel, who's hosting again.
Makes sense.
But yeah, it's shocking to me that this is the first time ever in Emmy history. What?
Yeah, that's a little behind on your times, guys.
The guy's done the Oscars.
Exactly.
Hello! You know what I mean? But good. I'm glad to see that.
Glad it's happening in general, but I mean, I feel like it's a little later than necessary.
We should say they are still they're still scheduled to air the Emmys. Sunday, September 20th. Kimmel will be hosting. That's all we know, though.
Yeah.
We don't know if there's going to be an audience, if the winners are going to be in the crowd. We don't know any of that. That's all still being worked out. Yeah. All we know is Reginald will be executive producing, Jimmy Kimmel will be hosting.
But that's it. That's all we know.
So, I guess we'll find out before September 20th.
Exactly. But like you were talking about earlier, Marvel still delaying some shows. I mean, we talked about Falcon and the Winter Soldier last week.
Yep.
But now we are talking about Miss Marvel, the series that's coming to Disney Plus. I mean, the studio hopes to begin production on Miss Marvel in Atlanta in November, but I mean, they're trying to figure it out. They're saying March 2021 the production will run through. If it
starts when they want it to, it'll run November through March. But don't worry, you might still see Miss Marvel because apparently they are top prioritizing casting her, and they're going to debut her somewhere in the MCU before her own show comes on.
Yeah.
So I would guess Miss Marvel it would be in Captain Marvel.
Never know.
Just a guess.
You never know.
But my money's on that. But anyway, it's a top priority. There it is. Show delayed, but you're still gonna see her, Miss Marvel.
Yeah, definitely. And this next one, it's so crazy, man. I mean, fuck COVID-19, because Disney has pulled Mulan from the studio's release calendar, and definitely nobody knows when it's gonna freaking happen.
No.
But I mean, like we talked about before, just releasing on streaming. No matter what, I think Disney is gonna take a bath on this film. But no matter what, you should just release it on streaming so that the audience can push it out and see it. I mean,
it's at this point, there's no way it makes money. None. It is going to be in the red. It is going to cost them a fortune, but you got to show it anyway.
Yeah.
And if you want any kind of money, you're never going to make the profit. You're never going to break even. But if you want any kind of revenue, you got to put it somewhere.
I agree.
And so, Disney Plus. Another thing, all these other shows are being delayed. You've got Mulan.
Yeah.
Put it on there.
You've got Black Widow. That'll probably be fucking taken off. No, it's probably gonna happen. Think about it. I mean, fucking,
if we're
keep pushing shit back. Tenet 3 times.
I know, and I keep saying if we're in it all the way in November, but I mean we're talking August now.
Yeah.
So November, God, man, that would be so bad, so bad.
It would really suck. It would suck.
But Mulan, come on, guys. Just put it on the stream. Look, the success you had with Hamilton, you will see some success with Mulan on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who want to see that movie, so just do it.
Exactly. And they've also announced delaying Star Wars movies and the Avatar sequels. Haha, fuck you, James Cameron.
Yeah. Don't really give a shit about those.
Yeah.
Just saying. That's me. Just saying.
I mean, the long delayed sequels of the Avatar, which was apparently the fucking sequel was supposed to come out in 2014, but now it keeps going and going and going. But now they said will premiere every other December, starting in 2022. Follows Avatar 2, December 16th, 2022, and Avatar 3, December 20th of 2024, and Avatar 4 in 2026, and Avatar 5, goddamn, in 2028.
Yeah, and in between all of those, every other December, will be Star Wars
Yeah.
movies, because they've been delayed as well. They are going to start taking place every other December, opposite Avatar, for the 3 new Star Wars movies that they're. One of those being Taika Waititi. He has confirmed he is writing his.
It's exciting.
As you guys know, we talked about this on the show before. He's writing and directing a Star Wars movie, so he's in writing mode on that. I guess that's going to be one of them in between all the Avatars. I say just fuck the Avatars and just go with Star Wars.
Right? Like, all fucking, 8 years? Like, just go all Star Wars.
Nobody wants to wait all the way until fucking 2025 to see these Avatars again. Like, I just, that's crazy to me.
Yeah, like, I don't know, man. I just feel like the magical luster has worn off for this franchise. I don't know. I think the sequels are too little too late, in my opinion.
And 5? I mean, I knew he was going to do 2 more, because this underwater stuff was going to be 2 of them.
Yeah.
I think now he's just like, no, I'm going to do 5. This motherfucker wants to catch Avengers again.
It's not going to happen.
No.
Especially, I mean, for granted, like, possibly come close if COVID wasn't happening, but definitely since COVID is happening, it's not going to happen.
No, yeah, because even when the theaters fully open, I don't think the audiences will ever be to the scale they were.
No.
Plus, like you said, I totally agree. Everybody's doing that technology now.
It's not special anymore, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not special.
You know what is special, though?
I agree.
And we both are really happy about this one, because we really liked it in the Solo film. Ha ha! Solo film, that's right. Donald Glover is rumored to be coming back to the galaxy far, far away, guys, as Lando Calrissian.
That'd be badass.
Apparently, he is in negotiations with Lucasfilm. He hasn't signed on the dotted line yet, but it's close, we're hearing, and it would be a Disney Plus series. So there you go. Look, I think Lucasfilm and Marvel and Disney are all in agreement that the future of right now, the Marvel and DC franchises, are Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Their focus is
sure.
on getting those shows out there. So, because nobody knows with the movies.
Exactly.
So I think this is a brilliant one. I think he would be epic to see a young Lando having a series.
Yeah, I agree. Or at least popping up in one of the other ones. I mean, we're talking about the Obi-Wan one, and then we're also still talking about the Boba Fett one.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then just so many other possible Star Wars series coming to Disney Plus. So he could pop up in each one of these, honestly.
Which would be badass.
It would be.
I mean, who doesn't want to see Donald Glover everywhere?
Exactly.
Everywhere.
Exactly.
I mean, and there's still rumors. This cat is loved by Disney, because there are still rumors that they're trying to work him into the Marvel franchise somewhere. So let's make that happen also, right? Okay.
Exactly.
Taraji
P. Henson.
You missing Cookie? Are you missing Cookie? Well, Cookie's coming back, guys. Empire ain't, but Cookie is. Apparently, we talked about this a couple weeks ago. She signed a big deal with 20th Fox Television, and she's got a first look deal in it. Well, her first project under that deal, a spinoff of Empire.
Yes.
Cookie is getting her own show.
That's badass, because I think she was the most likable character in the whole series, so it makes sense. Everybody didn't really like Lucius and fucking what's-his-face, but, I mean,
But they felt for Cookie.
Oh, yeah.
Even when Cookie
Always.
was taking baseball bats and trashing shit and killing people,
Yeah.
you felt for Cookie.
Definition of strong, independent woman right there.
That's right. You want to know what makes this even better? Danny Strong is writing it.
Oh, boy.
Did you guys know Danny Strong co-created Empire? I don't think nearly enough people know that.
I agree.
He co-created Empire with Lee Daniels, and he is coming on board for this one. He is doing all the writing for this one. So Danny Strong writing Taraji's Cookie is going to be epic.
I agree.
That's all we can say.
Yeah, I'm excited to see this thing happen, and I mean, like we said, everything is so up in the air right now with COVID, but I really hope this happens soon, because, I mean, I can't get enough Taraji in my life.
No.
Let's just say it. She's a badass. So.
She is, though. And like, I've loved her on everything I've ever seen her in.
Yeah.
Whether it's serious, comedic, just like, but yeah, I mean, it's brilliant.
Yeah,
So.
I agree. And other things happening. I mean, we talked about in wake of all this shit, animated series are the best thing to do right now. And Fox has given Vince Vaughn and Victoria Vaughn and Peter Bingsley, Wild West Picture Show production company, a blind script deal for an animated series. No writer is currently attached at the moment, but Fox Entertainment will produce. Vince, Victoria, and Bingsley will executive produce, as they should. And should the project go to series, it will be the second animated series that the Wild West Picture Show has produced. The company is also in talks with they're actually behind Netflix's F is for Family with Bill Burr.
Yeah, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
I always love the terminology, right? It's a blind script deal. So, of course, there's no writer attached.
Yeah.
It's a blind script, meaning they haven't seen a script, they don't know the script,
Have
they
no
don't
idea.
have, like, of course, there's no writer.
Exactly.
Like,
This is that, hey, you owe me a favor, now let me do this. I
Right.
haven't written it yet, but
That's
here's
right.
the concept.
That's
so,
right.
I mean,
look,
kudos.
Vince Vaughn's epic.
Exactly.
Okay, I mean, for everything I've ever seen him in, has been brilliant. This is going to be funny. I mean, this will move forward. I'll just say it right now. It says, if it moves forward, it will move forward. Yeah, I mean, it's going to move forward. It's Vince Vaughn.
Exactly.
You know what else is moving forward? The American Music Awards.
Oh, boy.
That's right. Dick Clark's Productions, which is Ryan Seacrest now, by
Right,
the way.
like-
Yeah, serious, like if you guys didn't know.
All him.
But anyway, ABC and Dick Clark Productions have announced that the 2020 American Music Awards will return in November 22nd. Under what format? It's kind of like the Emmys. We have no idea.
No idea.
Will performers be there? If the performers are there, will there be an audience live? We don't know. Will they walk up and get the award? None of that is clear yet, guys. None. So they keep announcing the dates for these award shows, but we don't know.
Yeah, nobody
We don't know.
knows what's going to happen, man. I feel like literally everything is up in the air. If the whole thing's a fucking Zoom shit, like, it might be a Zoom shit.
It might be. I mean, everything. Look, I found the NFL draft via Zoom pretty fucking entertaining.
Yeah, it was entertaining.
I mean, if you do it right, it could be pretty fun.
Yeah, you know. And this is really exciting. I know they teased this a lot when The Lion King was coming out, but of course, 24th time Grammy winner, the queen herself, Beyonce, released a trailer for Black is King. Her new visual album will be releasing on Disney Plus July 31st. The album is based on The Lion King, The Gift. The soundtrack for the classic Disney movies is going to be just amazing. And it's also going to feature her daughter, Blue Ivy Carter, Jay-Z,
Awesome.
Childish Gambino, a.k.a. Donald Glover. Obviously, fucking one of Disney's poster
I'm
boys
telling
right
you,
now.
he's the golden child
Yeah.
of Disney right now.
He really is. Freaking Pharrell Williams, Kendrick Lamar, Tierra Whack, 070 Shake, Jesse Revez, and other artists. Black King promises to reimagine the lessons of The Lion King for today's young kids and queens in search of their own crowns, according to the press release. I like that. That's a nice little tagline.
It is,
Yeah.
and it reminds me very much of what our guest last week said, Denham Richards, talking about, these kids need to remember coming up, before the slavery, before you were brought over here, before all this bullshit, you were kings, you were queens, you were,
Exactly.
and I feel like Beyonce going to bring that back.
Hell yeah.
Beyonce's going to put that out there and say, you are still queens, you are still kings, we can get this. So good for, I'm excited about this.
I am
It's
too.
Queen Bee.
Exactly.
Who's not excited?
Fucking everybody. The whole country, if not the whole world.
That's right.
But, man, Grownish star and executive producer Yara Shahidi has signed an overall deal with ABC Studios. And you guys know this. Under the pact of her forming production company, her business partner, and her mother. Oh, that's cool. Kiara Shahidi. The company is called Seventh Son, and under the deal, they will develop and produce scripted and alternative television products for cable, streaming, and broadcast.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
You're right. I'm not doing CPR.
I was putting a lot into it.
I would do CPR,
Yeah.
but it's okay. That's all right. Yeah, woo. Yeah, okay. Now this next one, man, this one makes sense to me, but Elizabeth Moss, as you're going to hear throughout the industry news here, because this ain't the only story, she's going to follow Reese Witherspoon. She's kicking ass. She's going to make moves to put herself on every streamer, apparently. Elizabeth Moss, as you guys know, Handmaid's Tale, right? Big star, has inked a first look deal with Hulu. That makes sense because it's a huge show on Hulu, right?
Yeah.
Like the big thing, right? So, of course, she's inked one with Hulu. Moss has also launched her own production company called Love and Squalor Pictures, and she's going to be focused on creating TV and film content for all the platforms as part of the deal. She's already in development on an anthology titled Black Match for Hulu, which she's also going to star in. Now, this series is described as a psychosexual neo-noir thriller set in modern-day Los Angeles, and comes from an original script by Ian McCullough.
Oh, shit.
So that's exciting news, guys. And she ain't done.
No.
We're gonna talk about that in a little bit. She ain't done. This woman is kicking ass.
Yeah, does not freaking stop. And other things happening for Disney, Hulu, everything in between. Hunter star Tiffany Boone is set to lead opposite Nicole Kidman and Melissa McCarthy in Hulu's tentpole limited series 9 Perfect Strangers, based on Big Little Lies author Liane Moriarty's latest book. The project is from David E. Kelly. You guys know we love David E. Kelly.
Yes.
Bruena Pardina's made-up stories. This is super exciting, man. I mean, they're just putting a lot of adult content on Hulu, as they should.
They are. And Melissa McCarthy and Nicole Kidman, I'm in right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that sounds like it's going to be fucking hilarious to me. Little trivia for you since he brought up David E. Kelly. Do you guys know who his wife is?
No.
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Michelle Pfeiffer?
That's right.
No
Janet
idea.
Van Dyne. That's right. The Wasp in the MCU.
Yeah.
David E. Kelly's
You
wife.
learn something new every day, man.
Yeah, just, filling you with knowledge.
Yeah.
Now you go on to Jeopardy and kick ass. All right.
Right, that's what it's all about. This podcast is to help you with Jeopardy.
That's right. We love you, Alex.
Yes.
All right. Heading to the bunny.
Of course.
And bad news to start off with
Yeah.
the bunny.
Yeah.
Another indefinitely postponed Tenet.
I bet Nolan was pissed.
I mean, this is like the 874th time this movie has
I
been
bet
delayed.
he was pissed.
And this plays heavily, guys, and I'm just going to say it because we also want to briefly put in there that AMC and Regal are now not opening when they were scheduled to at the end of July. Why? Because of Tenet. Tenet has been the film that has determined whether or not the theaters will reopen, and it keeps getting pushed, and now it's indefinite, so who knows about the theaters? So, but Tenet, not going to happen. Removed from the schedule. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, he was pushing for this thing, too. After it got moved the first or second time, he was like, I really just want this thing to come out for the summer box office. And now, I bet he's heated.
He's got to be. And he's not one of those that wants it on a streamer.
No.
He is full out theater because he's a film guy. He still shoots on film, guys, and he still does practical effects.
Yeah.
The Dark Knight and all that shit you saw in The Dark Knight, the explosions, flipping trucks, all that shit, all fucking practical. There was no CGI bullshit there. This is a guy who's old school filmmaker. He's like, fuck you, I want it in the theaters.
Exactly.
I want it in summer. But
Tenet's not the only one being delayed, though, at WarnerMedia. Freaking Conjuring 3 is now being delayed. It says that the third one was supposed to hit theaters on September 11th. Bad date, bro. But now, they will know it'll no longer be the case. No one knows.
June 4th of 2021 now.
Yeah.
That's a big, jump. I love the name of it, The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It.
What did you see? And I don't know if we have it in here, but The Quiet Place as well.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
It's just crazy, man. Like, these movies were supposed to come out 4, 5, 6 months ago. I fucking hate COVID.
I know.
It's so bad.
We finally found a movie subscription service that we love, that works, that is perfect. You can see whatever you want, whenever you want, all the time. And we can't go to the movies. It sucks.
God damn.
All right. John Stanky was pretty happy. Stanky! Worst name ever, but great guy. John Stanky, the head of AT&T, which is the parent company of WarnerMedia. So, because we're talking Bunny, right?
Yes.
HBO Max. Woo! They launched. They're going to come after Disney Plus. All right, they're after Netflix. Maybe not. Their first month, they only tallied up 3 million subscribers in their first month of launch. 4.1 if you count the people who had AT&T packages that included. And I want to know how many of you were screwed like I was. You have an unlimited plan. It said you had HBO Max. You went to sign up for HBO Max. It said you didn't have HBO Max. Then they send you an email saying you did have HBO Max. Fuck you, Stanky. This could be why you only got 3 million subscribers, okay? All right? All right, I'm going to calm down now.
Right? Woosah.
Anyway, 4.1 million total, and really 4 million, okay? To put that in comparison, Disney had 25 million, okay? 55 million currently. 25 million in the first month and 10 million in the first week of launch.
Yeah.
Now at 55 million. So HBO Max is looking like Quibi numbers for streamers. Okay, I'm just saying.
I think a big speed bump that they faced here was not pushing enough of their original content being like first breakout shit when you launched. Like everybody was anticipating The Mandalorian when Disney Plus launched. That's why a lot of people signed up.
Right.
And I mean, of course, everybody saw that a lot of people backed out of Disney Plus after they were done with The Mandalorian. So I feel like HBO Max's problem was, like I said, they didn't push their original content to be on the platform enough.
Well, and another problem, and we'll talk about it right now, is that they said, oh, you're going to sign up because you're going to love this and you're going to love that. And they can't make up their fucking mind about what they want on there and what they don't want on there. All the DC movies are here. No, they're gone. No, they're back. No, they're gone. So you got to like stay steady with your content. Like put it up, keep it up there because that's what people are going for. And then these poor people who came like 3 weeks late to the game, the shit that they came for wasn't on there anymore. And it's like, that's crazy. They did announce a whole bunch of new stuff coming though.
Yep.
Among those are Batman films, including all of Christopher Nolan's Batman films and Tim Burton's. No Joel Schumacher. Yeah. Everybody's just ignoring that. Smartly so. Tim Burton, Christopher Nolan, good Batman shit.
Maybe that's why DC streaming service is failing, because those were on there.
That's true. It's true. The first 2 seasons of Harley Quinn, if you haven't checked out Harley Quinn on fucking DC Universe, and now it's jumping over to HBO Max, Kaylee Cuoco is voicing it. Fucking badass. You guys got to watch that shit. So that's going to be good. Birds of Prey, of course. Seth Rogen's American Pickle, right? Now, all that is great news. You're thinking, damn, I got to sign up. Now we're going to talk about the one that's pissing everybody off.
Yes.
Especially that guy. Especially that guy.
Potter. Fucking Harry Potter. All 8 films were on there, and of course, they are saying now that they're going to take those bitches off. Well, they are saying because they don't have exclusive rights to them, but it's bullshit. Fucking, you're starting your streaming services, and this is like one of your biggest franchise. Why not try to keep that bitch all together? Why not try to sign a deal to bring them all back? I mean, it just doesn't make any sense.
No, and they're losing some really good shit on top of Harry Potter also. Dumb and Dumber movies, the John Wick movies, Quentin Tarantino's Kill Bill movies. Like, all that shit is epic. All of that is fun to watch, but you can't. It's all going. You can watch the Batman movies, though.
Yeah.
Like, see, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
The good ones, yeah.
The good ones.
Oh, but I mean, it's not all bad for HBO and HBO Max and all that good stuff. Perry Mason, which is apparently a huge show, I haven't gotten a chance to watch it, but has been renewed for its 2nd season at HBO. So, I mean, that's awesome. The premiere episode garnered freaking like 8 million viewers. That's insane.
Yeah, a lot of people were worried about it because, Perry Mason, Raymond Burr, back in the, old days, television and everything was there. This is like set way back, in like noir day 30s and stuff. And so people were worried, are people going to buy into that since it's not like set in the same time as the Raymond Burr series? Apparently so. Apparently they love it. And HBO said that it's filling a need for a certain aged audience. But going in, Robert Downey Jr., by the way, Robert Downey Jr. and his wife, they do this show. They produce this show.
Yeah.
Anyway, Matthew Rhys from The Americans is the star. He's Perry Mason. All of them knew going in. They said they felt like their target audience was going to be 40 or over. So they knew it was going to be a niche thing.
Yeah.
And it's working. So, good for them.
Yeah, seriously, especially after all the heat he got from Doolittle. So, I mean, he deserves a win, man. RDJ deserves a win. Oh, man. But, I mean, other interesting things happening over at HBO and the CW. The CW is developing a Stephen King novel based off of a short story, The Revelations of Rebecca Paulson. The long line of the series reads, after accidentally shooting herself in the brain with a nail gun, Polina-ish Becca Paulson is recruited by an over-it Jesus to be his chosen one in stopping the apocalypse.
This is a bit more lighthearted. If you guys are familiar with the short story, she actually shoots herself in the head with a real gun. It gets damn near really crazy. So this is a bit more lighthearted, but it makes sense because it's going to the CW.
Yeah.
It's not going to like HBO or HBO Max, so I'm going to the CW.
Yeah.
So, I hope it works. It's cool that they're kind of diving into the Stephen King world, right? That's going to be pretty epic. But we saw kind of that dark, I don't know, weird stuff, with Sabrina and stuff didn't really work on the CW. So I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know, brother. I don't know. For freaking jumping over to Viacom CBS, Paramount's Grease prequel, Summer Lovin', has tapped Brett Haley to direct the film. Summer Lovin' will detail the summer fling between Danny and Sandy. You know, what they were singing about. And I mean, who was right? What was it really like? Did he drop that exterior badass, hard-ass greaser? Or did she become like a slut during the summer? I
No,
don't know.
no.
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's always back and forth with those two.
We only saw the flashbacks in the original movie of them on the beach. So
Yeah.
now we're going to see the whole date night on the beach and everything. I just want to throw this out there, now that you've got a director, Olivia Holt. If you don't cast Olivia Holt as Sandy, epic fail.
Yeah.
You can thank me later. But I'm telling you, that's your girl right there, Sandy.
And this is also kind of concerning and yet kind of exciting at the same time. This will be the first time Haley will direct a first major studio film. He's been an indie guy and a streaming guy, so let's see what happens.
Even more so, bring Olivia Holt, who has a built-in audience that can help you. Okay, yeah. Olivia. All right. Anyway, you brought up sports. I want to quickly mention Bob Costas, CNN. Yeah, guys, he's coming back to do sports. Remember, he left Monday Night Football or Sunday Night Football. Blah, blah. He's coming back. CNN, going to be a sports contributor. Good, Bob. Good, Bob. Oh, this next one, NBC Universal. Universal Pictures is in talks with Tom Cruise and Doug Liman. You remember that crazy thought that they wanted to shoot a movie in space?
Yeah.
Well, apparently they still do, and Universal is listening. I'm so baffled by this.
Why?
We know that NASA and SpaceX from Elon Musk are cooperating on helping with logistics and everything, right? Yeah. But guys, they're saying that the budget is going to be $200 million.
Jesus.
How do you go to space on $200 million? Unless Musk is going to pay for you to get to space, I think the budget's going to be a whole lot larger,
it's not
right?
Feasible.
Then you're talking all kinds of logistic problems, guys. Without ever shooting in space, what if something goes wrong?
Insurance,
Like, how the cost of trying to fix shit in space, do you have to launch something else up there? Do you have to cut? That is going to play heavily on the budget, right? And then, like Logan just said, insurance. How the hell are you going to insure this project and insure the stars? What insurance company is going to say, I'm safe with putting my money on this. They're going to space. What? No, I don't even think this film's going to ever be made because I don't think it can get insured. Yeah. I'm just putting that out there. I don't know. Here's the crazy part. Tom Cruise wants $60 million.
Jesus.
He's asking between $30 and $60 million to star and produce this film.
He's a little cocky.
Guys, and then it gets even more crazy because Cruise is even more. Remember him jumping on Oprah's couch? He's this crazy. He doesn't want the streamers to bid on it.
Yeah.
The streamers who have all the money at this point, who are getting all of the people watching at this point, no. He wants this to be an event movie that brings people back to the theater. He believes in it, and he wants $60 million.
Obviously not paying attention to what the climate is right now. No. I mean, this man is so out there. Everybody knows. He makes great action movies, but man, this guy is... Woo!
His head might already be in outer space.
Seriously.
It's like out there.
Yeah.
Good luck. Because I know I give Tom Cruise a lot of shit, but I really like all of his movies. So I think this movie would be epic. I just don't think it's ever going to happen.
Yeah.
You know what is epic, though? Dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun,
we knew it. We called it. As soon as we announced that your boy, Stabler, was coming back, right? Yes. Chris Maloney coming back. You couldn't have it without him and Olivia teaming back up,
At least one more time.
So
bring the game back together.
That's right. Stabler and Benson had a selfie. Mariska Hargitay and Chris Maloney, they posed in a selfie together. They teased it. He's going to appear on SVU before the spinoff kicks off.
Yeah.
Duh.
Makes sense.
Duh. Everybody knew that was coming because we got to explain where the hell he's been. And boy, is Benson going to be pissed.
Dude.
I'm just saying. Thursdays, 10 p.m. It's good to go. It's going to be kicking off in the fall season. So, yeah, I'm super fucking excited for this. I thought how he went out was bad. I'm glad they're bringing him back. I'm glad they're fixing this.
I mean, he was such a main, huge, favorable, like, fan-liked character. So, I mean, yeah, he deserves a spinoff in general anyway. So.
It's going to be really cool because Olivia is in a whole different place.
Exactly.
She's a fucking captain now.
Yeah.
Head of the precinct now. Like, a whole different... How Stabler deals with that, how she deals with Stabler.
Exactly.
Apparently been lying to her the whole time, like, where he was and all. Oh, it's going to be juicy.
Badass.
I think Rebecca Kennedy should make another appearance.
I agree.
I'm just saying, it sounds like a
show. Don't know how.
Just, you play a different character and show up on the new spinoff.
Yeah.
You can be in a crime family. He goes after crime families in the mafia.
Yeah.
You're mean.
Yeah, you might get shot in the head again, but you know. But this next one, I'm honestly not surprised that they're pushing this. Lorne Michaels, everybody knows he's behind SNL. He's the mastermind behind it.
Yes.
He's freaking really trying hard to bring it back to Manhattan Studios for the late night program for its 46th season. I mean, NBC declined to comment on the plans of the next cycle of SNL. I mean, with everything happening, but who knows, man? Who knows? I don't know if this is a good idea or a bad idea, but I mean, the Zoom thing that they did a couple weeks ago or a couple months ago didn't go over bad. So
Yeah.
I don't understand why they just couldn't do that for the time being.
I don't know. Apparently, Fallon, right? He's headed back to his studio to try
Yeah.
to do it, and I mean, I guess they're just wanting to get back to the norm. But
Yeah.
I mean, if it ain't safe, don't do it.
It's still not the norm, though.
No,
it's not the norm.
It's not. Hey, did you hear anything about Spider-Man?
Nope.
Nope. So we're moving past Sony.
Yes, we are. And I respect your decision to move past Sony.
Oh, thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Because now we're talking about MGM's upcoming Aretha Franklin documentary.
Yes.
Respect, starring Oscar winner and Broadway alum Jennifer Hudson.
You know the one Simon Cowell said wasn't good enough.
Yeah, now fuck you, Simon.
Everybody's wrong once, buddy.
Exactly. But this makes sense because the movie was supposed to come out around Christmas weekend, but now it is coming out around Martin Luther King Day weekend.
Yeah.
So,
I'm glad. This makes total sense. And don't worry, even though it's being pushed back, because of the new rules with the Oscars, remember that's been pushed back, and
Yeah.
you have until February to qualify now. So she is still safe for the award season.
Yes.
Because I'm betting she's getting nominated. I'm betting this
For
film
sure.
is
She
getting
should,
nominated. Because you got to show her some respect. So it's all good. I mean, and I'm excited because I think this is definitely an award type film.
Yeah.
And I mean, super.
I
pumped.
agree. And when you guys watch this one, be sure to look out for our buddy Joshua McKell.
Yes.
He's going to come on in a couple weeks and talk about this one. So, I
Yes.
mean, badass film. He's got some great stories about it. Just a little tease for you guys. Just a
Yeah,
little
I
tease.
love when he's talking about meeting Jennifer Hudson and
Yeah.
like,
Shit.
definitely.
But now we were talking about Hallmark a little bit and Crown Media. This next one, nobody saw it coming. Nobody even heard that it happened. But Wanoya Lucas has been named president and CEO of Crown Media Family Networks. Lucas is responsible for the strategic direction, daily management of growth of the 3 linear networks, the Hallmark Channel, Hallmark Movies and Mysteries, and Hallmark Drama.
and I know what you're thinking. Where's Bill Abbott?
Exactly.
Well, you remember that big controversy that Bill got himself into a few months back when they aired the same-sex couple commercial during the Christmas, stuff on Hallmark, and then they took it off the air because they got a lot of heat, and then they got a lot of heat for taking it off the air, so they put it back on the air.
Yeah.
Well, apparently Abbott did not survive that.
He did
Apparently Abbott quietly, and apparently very quietly, stepped down after that.
Yeah.
And now, I mean, Wanya is going to take his place. Look, I think this is a really good move.
Same.
I mean, Hallmark channels and Crown Media have always targeted a high female audience, right? A family audience. And they have taken some cracks that they're not diverse.
Yeah.
That so I think this is, if you're going to put a woman in charge and then you put a woman of color in charge, all epic. This move is smart. Congratulations to the CEO of Hallmark in general to put a CEO of the Hallmark channels in place that's a woman and a woman of color. This is going to go really well, I think.
Yeah,
And
I'm
it's a smart
excited.
move.
I'm excited to see what she's going to bring to the table and how she's going to take the company in a different direction, or if in the same direction.
And she's excited. She's been with the company for a while, and she's a huge fan of Hallmark, and so she's familiar with the brand and how it all works. She's going to be a smart.
Keep
that's a
Christmas
smart
Con.
hire.
I want to attend Christmas Con.
Yes.
So, I mean, now heading over to Netflix.
Woo!
Netflix had a lot of news this week,
They
guys.
did.
Very happy to see
This one, I'm
this-
old enough to remember.
Yeah, I have no idea. A new film is in the works at Netflix starring Julia Roberts, Hollywood sweetheart, and Denzel Washington, epic major badass.
Yeah.
The pair will star in Leave the World Behind, based on an upcoming novel by Ruman Alam, Mr. Robot creator. As Sam Ismail will write and direct the project.
That's going to be badass.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. That is going to be
What
epic.
did they? Oh, I see. They worked together in Pelican
Yes.
Brief.
Remember Pelican Brief? Brilliant film shot in New Orleans. Badass. This is actually, and yes, it was a while ago. Okay, 1993.
Yeah. A while ago.
I was around.
Yeah.
I was a young guy, but I was around.
Yeah.
this is the first time they've worked together since then.
Nearly
so that's
30
pretty
years.
epic.
Yeah.
That is epic. And, I mean, I'm excited because I love Sam.
Yeah.
Mr. Robot was awesome.
It was really good.
I mean, so this is going to be epic. You know Fiona from Shameless?
Yeah.
That's his wife.
Oh, all right. Okay.
Trivia everywhere. Just bing, right
Dropping
there.
knowledge.
Mr. Robot creator and writer, Fiona the wife.
Exactly.
Bing. All right. Anyway, this is going to be epic.
Hell
I'm excited.
But Netflix is also buying an untitled action-adventure film from Ryan Reynolds and Sean Levy. The streamer bought the rights to the film, which will star Reynolds and will be directed by Levy, from Skydance Media. Financial terms of the sale were not disclosed, so we don't even know. But Netflix previously teamed with Reynolds on the hit Underground 6, that Michael Bay film.
Yeah. So, rumor is it's in the, $200 million range. Even that's always undisclosed, but I love how somebody always leaks the rumor.
Always.
Maybe 200 million. We don't know. You know.
Yeah.
It's Ryan Reynolds though, so it's gonna be good. I mean, so Netflix is banking on him a lot, so that's exciting.
And I have to say, I mean, I'm honestly surprised because this guy's been around for a while, but I think since the Deadpool, he's found a whole new life in Hollywood.
It's true. I just want to say, Ryan Reynolds, if by any chance you're listening or watching and somebody points this out to you, I've been a fan since Two Guys and a Girl in a Pizza Parlor. Nobody even remembers that show, but I watched it and I was a fan.
Van Wilder, bro. Van Wilder.
See? Come on the show. We respect you pre-Deadpool. All right, that's all I'm saying.
Oh, my goodness. Woo. What the fuck is that?
I'm getting ready to do the crane, man.
Yeah,
Daniel LaRussa.
The listeners had no idea.
No, they were like, what's going on? Now I need CPR.
Yeah.
You guys know, you heard, Netflix picked up Cobra Kai, right?
Yes.
The spin-off from Karate Kid, and it's now set in modern time 30 years later. Woohoo! Season 3's coming. Now we know when the first 2 seasons are coming. Because everybody was like, what? You're going to do season 3? We want to watch season 2. Yeah. August 28th.
Boom.
Boom. You'll
Right
get to
there.
watch the first 2 seasons of the YouTube series, now Netflix series, August 28th, and then season 3 shortly after.
Yeah, I feel like because it was being shot on the MGM Sony lot, so I feel like they freaking realized that this show is too good for not a lot of people to watch it on YouTube. So we're gonna need to take this somewhere else, and I'm glad that Netflix and them came to an agreement, and I'm super excited to watch the first 2 seasons and the next however many seasons they do.
Me too, and I bet Netflix is grateful because I bet they were. I mean, we heard from Ralph Macchio and the guys that they pitched it all around
Everywhere,
town.
yeah.
Netflix passed on it the first time, so they're like, whew, let's bring it.
So glad we got that back. Oh, so excited about this. It makes sense
By
because
the power of Grayskull. Okay.
Okay. But since, COVID shutting a lot of live action stuff down, animated stuff, like we keep talking about, is continuing to go on. Like Kevin Smith and Netflix's Master of the Universe Revelation hasn't let COVID slow it down at all.
Nope.
So that shit is still coming out. We have yet to get a release date, but nothing. There's no speed bumps with that one. That one is still going on and gonna hit Netflix hopefully soon.
Yeah, he announced recently that all of his people have finished all their dialogue. All that's in place. Mark Hamill, Lena Headey, Stephen Root, Sarah Michelle Gellar, and Chris Wood, Mon-El from Supergirl.
Yeah.
That's who's He-Man, by the way. They've all finished their recording. They did it all remotely and everything, so bam, it is good to go.
Super excited, man. Super excited.
Rob Riggle.
Rob Riggle.
Who doesn't love Rob Riggle?
I just like his name.
Yeah, Rob Riggle. Yeah, I bet he wiggles.
I bet he does. Rob Wiggle with the wiggle finger.
That's right. And Natasha Leggero, Ron Funches, Cleo King, and 80 Miles have all joined the voice cast of Netflix's Hoops alongside Jake Johnson. Remember him from Tag?
Boom. Yeah.
From Tag and from Girl Next Door and all that fun stuff. Hoops is a basketball-themed adult animated series from Ben Hoffman and Phil Lord and Chris Miller, the guys behind the Lego movies and stuff.
Yeah.
It's going to be badass. August 21st, you're going to be able to watch it.
That's pretty cool. Like I said,
There's a lot
animated.
of shit coming in August for Netflix, man.
That's super exciting, and I bet that's gonna help keep them at the top. Not saying that Disney is not gonna get there closer. They're at least gonna be number 2. I feel like, like we talked about at the beginning of the show, they'll at least be number 2 at the streamer standings. But Netflix is continuing to make that push to stay number 1 at the streamer.
You know what Netflix did though that really made me mad? And it's not really Netflix.
It's not their fault.
It has to do with the casting and if you had just stuck with Claire, it wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I agree.
Anyway, were you as pissed off as I was with that big ass gap between season 1 and season 2 of The Crown?
Yeah.
Right? You were like, when the fuck is season 2 coming? Then that big ass gap between season 2. Well,
Even
you're
bigger,
getting
yeah.
more of a big ass gap. Apparently, the gap, season 5 won't be hitting until 2022.
Damn.
They're going to keep, because they're doing another casting change, another turnover, another flip-flop. So, look, we're all glad it's coming back after they decided they weren't going to do another season. Now they are going to do another season. All that's good, but you're going to have to wait forever to fucking see it.
Yeah.
So, season 5, 2022.
Yeah.
So,
And this is exciting, though. At least season 4 has already completed production and is expected to debut later this year. So, I mean, it's coming out soon, but after that, like you said, it's going to be fucking ever. Like, it's going to be forever.
just enjoy the season and then know you're going to be waiting forever.
Exactly.
The Boys.
Did you see the fucking trailer
Yes!
where they run into the whale?
Yes!
I was like, holy shit.
And I love the line on it. If you thought the dolphin was bad.
Yeah.
Like, this show is so great. All my Supernatural family people, Eric Kripke, man, if you're not watching fucking The Boys, you need to be watching it. Picked up for season 3, and they're adding like the Talking Dead type. They're doing a show, an after show with it.
Makes sense.
Aisha Tyler's gonna host it. She's hilarious. She's funny on Whose Line Is It Anyway? She was great on Friends. She was on The Talk. You know her, you love her. It's gonna be epic. This show is epic.
Yeah.
So season 3 renewed before. I'm so excited.
I hope, what's his name there? Daddy Winchester.
Yes,
fucking
yes, Richard Dean Morgan. Apparently that's in talks.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Jeffrey Dean. Why?
Every time.
Every time. Richard Dean Anderson, Jeffrey Dean Morgan. See, that's why I just call him, JDM.
Yeah, I understand.
I just need to go with JDM.
But I hope this is the season he pops up in. Because,
I hope so,
mean,
too.
he would fit right into this
Oh my
fucking shit. Like,
Gosh,
he'd fit
he'd be
right in.
epic. He would be so epic.
Wasn't he in The Watchmen, like the movie? Wasn't
Yeah.
Oh, so see? Right there. Dark fucking superheroes.
I mean,
right
this
there.
guy is badass, okay? Yeah, I mean, even when I get his name wrong. I better be careful. He's going to grab Lucille and come kick my ass.
Right.
I don't want any of that.
Fucking fuck.
I am not Richard Dean Anderson. Do I look like fucking MacGyver? Like,
No, you don't.
I'm sorry, Negan.
Oh, my
All right.
goodness.
Anyway.
Yes, the cast of Amazon's Inspicable or Indecisible, whatever.
Invincible.
Invincible words on Robert Kirkman's comic book series of the same name is expanding. Kirkman announced The Walking Dead Carrie Payton will play King Ezekiel from AMC's zombie drama. Okay.
Yeah, you know King Ezekiel from The Walking Dead.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's who Kari Payton is.
badass.
Yeah, he's a badass. And Spock.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want to see King Ezek and Spock together in a show?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
You know, and I mean, Apple is doing some things as well. Apple is giving a series order to Shining Girls of mythical thrillers based on Lauren Brooks' 2013 best-selling drama, The Shining Girls.
Yes.
So, starring Elizabeth Moss.
Yes.
You see?
That's right.
Yeah.
Elizabeth Moss. She's going to be executive producing this thing with a little guy named Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh, just a little bit.
Just a little. Yeah. So, like we said earlier at the top of the show, she is following in Reese Witherspoon's footsteps. She's apparently going to be executive producing and creating content and starring in shows on every streamer.
Exactly. Exactly.
So,
And we want to fit this last thing in here real quick. Quibi, a little too late. Samuel L. Jackson and Ryan Reynolds are set to star in Motherfucker, an animated series for Quibi. But, I mean, I don't think anybody is going to be coming back for this thing.
No, and here's the really weird thing about it. They're playing themselves.
Yeah.
Like, it's a really weird concept. It'll be funny because it's Ryan
always.
Reynolds and fucking Samuel L. Jackson, but I bet it's going to have to find a new Netflix.
Maybe.
You love Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
Just bring him on. It'll be fine.
Pick him up. But now it is time for our guest segment. We got the one and only Joseph Poliquin coming on the show to leave a little piece of advice, talk about Greyhound, and all these other amazing things that he's got going on in his life. This is going to be a good one for the up-and-comers.
Oh, without doubt. If ever there was a guest to listen to about how to break down walls, get over, through doors and keep at it until you hit, this is the guy to listen to, guys.
I agree. Well, here he is.
Joseph Poliquin, welcome inside the Crazy Ant Farm, man. How are you today?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great.
Awesome. We are so excited to talk to you about everything Greyhound and all of the awesomeness that you have going on with this. We got all of our listeners are pumped for it, so we're stoked to have you on, bro.
Thank you.
Of course. And what we like to do at the beginning is kind of introduce you to our listeners just so they can get familiarized with your work and what you have done and where you come from, really. So what we like to do is ask you, how'd you get started in the industry? Was it something you always wanted to do, or did you kind of just fall into it, or how did it all come about?
I mean, definitely it was something I always wanted to do, but never thought that I would ever get the chance. Otherwise, I wouldn't have gotten tattoos all over my body.
Yeah.
But I was doing music since I was 16, and I that taught me how to get rid of the stage fright, how to perform in front of people, how to remember lyrics, which is pretty much like remembering lines.
Right.
But I never thought I'd be an actor until one day I was working as a mechanic, and I started going to college. And my boss fired me. He said, "If you go to college, you can't work for me full time, so I don't need you." So he fired me, and my college shut down.
Damn.
So after my college shut down, I was like, "What am I going to do?" And a friend was like, "Hey, American Horror Story is looking for some extras." And I had made a few short films as a teenager, and I had a YouTube channel, but like once again, like that's not truly the same as acting, in a film and going through the process. So I went and I was like, all right, yeah, I'll send in my pictures to become an extra. And it turned out I was one of 5 core background on American Horror Story's Freak Show, and we worked for 7 months straight with Evan Peters and Kathy Bates and everyone.
Shit.
I made some lifelong friendships on that production, and Evan Peters one night told me, "Man, I think you have it. You could be an actor." And I was like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Do you want to be an actor? You can do it." I was like, "Well, what do I do? What are the steps?" He's like, "Well, get some headshots and try to get an agent." That's what he told me. I was like, "Okay, cool."
It's amazing, right, though? Like, you never know. Like, the shit that happens in life will put you on the path of where you're supposed to be, right?
That's what it is.
Absolutely.
I mean, you think, shit, fired from the job, the school shuts down, what the hell's going on? Well, this is what's going on. Yeah. This is where you're supposed to be.
Exactly. So. Meant to be on 13 episodes of American Horror Story. It's insane.
I was working on all 13 episodes, but every time I got FaceTime, it got cut out until the second to last episode.
Oh, shit.
I had a machete, and I was chasing Denzel Harris' character.
Well, at least you had fun on set, man. That's all that matters. And you got the learning experience, and then, like Dustin said, put you on the right path to start to do bigger and better things, really.
Exactly, man, exactly.
And it never hurts, or is never a bad thing when you hear somebody that's established in the industry say, "Hey, dude, you should be doing this. You're pretty good at this," right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So, and I mean, we got to say, I mean, moving on, I mean, Sofia Vergara, Reese Witherspoon, I mean, Tom Hanks, you've worked with some incredible people, bro.
Thank you.
Yeah. Talk about that a little bit. Like, okay, first of all, we love the scene in Hot Pursuit. I mean, we got to talk about that a little bit. I mean, that shit was hilarious, okay? How you did it with them two ladies, I don't even know.
Right.
What was that like with Sophia and Reese? I mean, were they as crazy or what?
Oh, they're amazing. They're amazing people, amazing actors, and just good people. And the whole time they were just talking about their kids and how proud they were of the kids. It was like my first experience with celebrity actors being normal people, and I was like, "What?" I can't believe it.
Right.
But it happened. It happened around the same time that the American Horror Story thing happened, and it's funny because when you think about acting, you think that okay, you have to know people, you have to get involved, you have to go to parties, you have to talk to people and become friends. And it's really none of that. It's none of that. There's so many people in this world that fit certain characters that I wouldn't even call it Hollywood because it's not all films are made in Hollywood.
Right.
The film industry, there's certain people that they need that they don't have yet, or that they haven't met yet or seen yet. So they're picking people off the street at all times. I never knew that you could get a part like that in Hot Pursuit without even doing an audition. That's what I never knew. Like, did they know I could act? They had no idea.
Right.
They had no idea. They saw a picture of me. They said, "Yeah, he looks young and he looks like he could be this cashier. Let's get him."
Yeah.
So I thought I was just going to be an extra. Once again, I had no aspirations trying to be this big star. I was very happy just being where I was. Oh, I get to get paid and I get to eat free just to hang out with celebrities and watch them do their amazing work. Well, count me in. Like I didn't want I wasn't caring about becoming a star. And I get to set and it's just they put me behind the counter and they were like, "Okay, it's just you, Sophia, and Reese in this scene." And I'm like, "Wait, what? This isn't an extra part." I was like, "This isn't an extra part." And they're like, you didn't read your sides. I was like, wait, I have sides? And those of you listening, for those of you listening that don't know what sides are your side of the story. It's the scene they're shooting for the day, and it'll include your character. So I was like, wait, I'm written in the script? Are you serious? And the guy that was telling me this, he was like, oh, this is priceless. Hold on, I'm going to go get some sides. He's like, you were going to love this. My ex-girlfriend was on set at the time, and they hand me the sides, and they're like, yeah, cashier sitting there. Sophia walks up and gives him $100 bill, bends over the counter, and he looks down her shirt. And I was like, wait, this can't be right. I run up to talk to the AD. He's like, yep, that's you. I was like, no one even auditioned me. Didn't even audition me. So like, all right, whatever. So I went and I talked to my ex, and I was like, hey, look, I don't want you to be upset, but I kind of have to do this little, intimate scene, and it's a little, it's a little risque.
Right.
Like, what is it? She read through the sides and she starts laughing. She goes, I'm jealous. I'm jealous.
And that's when you say, it's acting. It's just acting. Oh, dude, that is great. I love that, though, because, we've had a few guests on say similar to what you just said, and I think it's really important because we have a lot of listeners who are trying to break into the industry. And I love the fact that so many of you guys say, there's a place for you, because there is.
Yeah.
I feel like if no matter what you look like or what you sound like or who you are, if you are trying to be in this industry and you are passionate about doing it, there is a place for you in the industry. And I think it's important that people say that, dude. So I'm glad that you did bring that up. And I also like the fact that you brought up that they're just real people. They're talking about their kids on set, because I feel like a lot of times most people don't realize they might be a big name star, but they're just like me and you. They're just like regular people. Most of them anyway, and that's a good thing, and I think that's a great approach for a young actor to have. You got to go into it saying, hey, we're all just people, we're all just working, trying to do our job, and I think that's important.
Exactly,
man.
yeah.
So, and I love your enthusiasm. You could just tell from your voice.
Thank
you
you.
have a shit ton of passion for what you do. So
Thank you so much.
Of course. Well, I mean, man, let's talk about it. Greyhound with Tom Hanks, man, that's insane. Like, I'm so excited to see this one. Like, I cannot believe, like, what was it even like to be in the presence of, like, this acting god? Like,
I know we just say, oh, they're all normal people, but it's Tom Hanks. I mean, it's hard to say Tom Hanks is a normal person, right?
No, yeah, he's too. I would say too nice, but he's exactly the amount of nice that people say he is.
There you go.
When you hear that he's the nicest guy in Hollywood, it's 100% accurate. Like you can't. I don't know. Like I know Bryan Cranston is like close for second place, but like it's hard to beat American Dad, man.
Exactly.
I mean, for Christ's sake, they're saying if there's a cure for this COVID shit, it's going to be Tom Hanks' blood.
Yeah,
I mean, that should tell you everything you need to know, right? Like. But all kidding aside, though, I mean, he wrote it, and so it's real personal to him, and so you could tell it's a passion project for him. So what was that like? I mean, it must have been amazing for you to take that step up in the career, and it's on a passion project of Tom Hanks, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like you said, the passion project is the best way to put it, because he shot this film for years. He worked on the script for like 5 or 6 years. It was 6 years of him working on the script before he even started casting it, and I knew whenever I got the phone call that I was even going to have the audition, I was like, I'm going to put everything I have into this audition, because
definitely
this is not just another Tom Hanks movie. This is his baby.
Exactly.
This is something he cares about.
Exactly. And I mean,
But,
let's talk about the audition process a little bit. How did that come about? Like, was it your agent or manager that reached out and figured out this thing was happening and thought you'd be perfect for it, or how'd that all come about?
I heard about this film in 2014, 2015, I think,
Wow.
before I was even auditioning or approaching acting. Or I had a few auditions, but I wasn't I wasn't thinking I was going to get anything.
Right.
But yeah, I heard about the film. Of course, Tom Hanks is coming to your town to make a movie. People are going to talk about it. So Everyone's talking about it. They're like, it's going to be on the USS Kid. Years passed, and I thought that he had already made the film, or whatever had happened. And it's the craziest thing, man. Me and my ex, we broke up, and I had to move out. I moved on to my friend's couch. I was living on his couch for like a week. I really didn't know what was going to happen with my life at the time. I was like, man, I love acting. I love doing this so much, but I have to support myself. And this was like, it was a moment where it was like, yeah, I've had a few films that I loved being a part of, but those characters weren't like my character in Greyhound. They were just like, I'd pop in the film as a cameo appearance and be like, hey, I'd say a few lines and have a funny part. But I was like, man, I was at the moment where I was actually applying for jobs. I applied for GameStop and a bunch of other jobs, and I was like, just trying to get a little day job to help, support me and get me back on my feet again. And sure enough, I got this phone call, and my agent was like, hey, Tom Hanks is in your town, and he's auditioning for roles for his movie. I told her, I was like, which movie? She goes, Greyhound. I was like, oh, I thought they already made that. She's like, no, it got pushed back. I was like, it got pushed back. Oh, that's great. I was like, that's awesome. So I told her, I was like, yeah, count me in. I'm definitely down. She's like, you're going to have to shave your head. I had long hair at the time. Like, it was a little past my ears. She's like, you're going to have to shave your head or at least, get a crew cut. I was like, I'll do anything. I was like, right. Let's do it. So I cut my own hair for the audition. And I threw away my phone. I threw it in the closet. I literally made one post on Instagram, was like, hey, guys, you're not going to hear from me for a while, but it's for a good reason. And I threw my phone in the closet, and for like a week, just practicing, rehearsing this audition, I listened to nothing but 1930s and 40s music. I didn't have any like technology around me at all, except for to like, read a script, print out a script and stuff. And when I went in for the audition, there was only about 30 people in the room in New Orleans. But I had heard from one of the people in there that knows somebody in Atlanta that there was 300 people in Atlanta auditioning. Yeah, so I was stressing it. I was like, oh God, if they pick somebody from Atlanta for this part, I'm going to feel really bad. They gave everyone the same character and the same 15 pages of dialogue to remember.
Interesting, yeah.
And it was intense, man. It was really intense. And I was sitting in the hallway, and to anyone that's listening that might have been one of those actors auditioning in New Orleans, keep going, man. You guys are doing great. But
there you go.
I could hear through the wall that they were forgetting their lines. Like 20 people, one after another, could not remember lines. It's 15 pages.
Right.
I mean, it's a pretty big, but they couldn't remember their lines. They're just, one after another. I was like, man, I remembered it like front to back. I could do it, in reverse. I was like, I'm ready for this. So I went in there, and she goes, hi, Joseph. It's nice seeing you again. Please tell me you remember your effing line. Like, yeah. It's like, good. Let's go. And we started it, and it was amazing. It went great. After we were finished, she actually said the words, that was perfect. And I've never heard a casting director say that, so I was like, almost in tears. I was like, oh, really? She goes, okay, I'm going to do something weird here. It's a request from Tom Hanks. It's a little weird, so bear with me. I'm going to zoom in to your eyebrows to your chin, from your eyebrows to your chin. She's like, yeah, so we're going to get an extreme close-up. And I was like, this is kind of like, different. It's a different case.
Yeah, I was like, this is weird.
So she did it.
But it's a request from Tom Hanks, so you say yes.
Exactly. So she was like, and she's calling out like, okay, this is on fire. This is exploding. This is happening. And now you're running here. Now the ship's shaking. Now there's water. And, like, she's calling out these crazy directions to me, and I'm like improvising directions of like action, And I'm like, and then she's like, all right, that was great. Have a nice day.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. And I waited a week and a half. I got the call. They said, you're pinned. That's what one of the associates at the casting office said, you're pinned. It's between you and one other person. I was like, are you kidding me? This is crazy. And dude, to be honest, it's funny because I had no idea what the script was about or what the movie was about. But and I'm not a very religious person. I don't go to church and I don't read the Bible, but I do believe in spirituality, and I do believe we all come from something bigger. And so I got on my knees and I prayed. And the next day, I got a phone call, and they said, you got it. And I was like, holy crap.
Oh, man.
Man, that's incredible. And I love hearing the audition process and how that all goes. I mean, the thoughts that must have been going through your head after you hear, oh, you nailed it, it's perfect, but now I need you to do this. And you have to just, like, off the cuff start giving all this stuff, man. That's got to be just so intense.
Yeah. Oh, it was incredibly intense.
So talk about the scope of the film, because, I mean, this is a blockbuster type, huge budget kind of a thing. Talk about that a little bit and the differences between, a smaller indie type project.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like you mentioned, I had done a few indie stuff, or like that we mentioned. I had done a few indie things before Greyhound, and there was always fun sets, but with the budget issues that indie films had, sometimes even like in Hot Pursuit, I was given a line. The director gave me a line, but then once she talked to the producers, it only took 30 minutes for them to tell her, never mind, we can't afford that.
Right,
So it was like, Yeah, so that happened. And when I got on this set, it was like I said, it was Tom's baby. So I don't want to skip like any the process. I want your audience to know that like they didn't tell me my character name. I didn't get picked for the character I was auditioning for, but it turns out that most of the people that read for that character, it was just it was like dummy sides. Some of that wasn't even in the movie. Yeah, so the character that got picked for that movie, he was a great actor, and we're on our way to set for the first time. I still don't know my character's name. We did boot camp, but we all thought we all didn't have character names because they only told us our job. They taught us everything about the Navy destroyer. We did boot camp with Dale Dye. Dale Dye taught Johnny Depp on Platoon. So I was like, oh God, I love Dale Dye. Yeah, I was like, I'm a big fan of Dale Dye. So like he, once we learned from him for a week or multiple days, I was like, okay, what is going on? Am I going to have a line in this movie? Am I going to have? And then my agent, of course, if you're an actor and you have an agent, they try to work out the details for you to kind of help you, be confident in your work. So she's like, no, you're going to have a name. You're going to have at least one line. I was like, okay, so I'm going to have a one-liner in a Tom Hanks movie and a name. That's cool. And I figured this is about the right. It's a blockbuster, big-budget film. I'm completely okay with that. I was like, and it's a small, a small role, but it's the butt of my career. I'm green pretty much, So I get to set and we meet Tom Hanks, and he's a gem. He's an amazing person. First thing he said to us, "What's up, fuckers?" I don't know if I can curse on your podcast, but
no, you're good.
Out of his mouth, he broke the ice, and I was like, "Oh, I love this guy." And so he just told us what we're going to be, what to prepare for, and we didn't even read the script yet, and we were doing camera tests, and I didn't know that they were camera tests. So when I'm going on set with them, I signed my contract. I walk on set and we start filming. And I'm shouting out lines. He's shouting out lines. The camera's flying all over the room. And then we did that for a whole day. And then at the end of the day, I got a call from my agent. And she goes, "Congratulations, you got the part."
Oh.
What?
Wait, what?
I'm confused.
Yeah. I was like, hold on. I just spent all day acting with Tom Hanks. What are you talking about? She's like, "Oh, that was camera test." She was like, I was like, so you're telling me that if I wouldn't have done a good job today, I still could have walked away without having this part? What the? But I mean, they're spending so much money on this movie. Yeah. They have to get it right. They have to make sure that I'm the person that they've been looking for this part. So, and I understand that. So I was like, okay, well, I got it. Now the sweat's off and I get to just bring everything I have to the table. The next day we did the table read. I got to learn everything about my character. And I was like, wow, I thought I had a one-liner in this film. And I'm all over this film. I was like, I'm like in and out this film for half the movie, more than half the movie, and I don't want to give away anything that happens in the movie, but it's an epic film.
Yeah,
it's a really epic film. Dude. And so I was like, dude, this is just a beautiful character. So I was like, thank you. And I told Tom Hanks that. I was like, thank you so much for casting me in your film. And he said, oh, I'm just happy they're finally letting me make it. And he goes, and he said, and he told my agent, he said, I want you to know that we didn't pick you because you were local. We picked you because of your talent. And I was blown away. And the rest is history.
That's it right there. If it was all over with, that's what you stamp on the resume and say, Tom Hanks said, I was picked for my talent. I mean, there's no better endorsement than Tom Hanks saying, stamp, you're talented. Yeah, I can't even imagine, bro.
It's like a dream, and it really is. I see why they call it dreams come true, because I still pinch myself, and I'm like, am I sleeping?
All right. It's absolutely wild, man. And did you guys shoot this at Celtic Studios?
We did.
Fantastic. Oh, that's a beautiful facility. We toured it a couple years ago. Oh, man. I'm just awesome. I'm glad that there's such personable people there, so I'm glad that y'all were able to shoot this thing, at least finally for Tom Hanks. Yeah.
Right, finally for Tom Hanks. And I love the preparation. I love the fact that you did the research and dove into kind of the character aspect of it. I'm going to go all 40s and put the technology away. I mean, do you find yourself, are you more of a method actor that way with all the roles, or what?
I'm never a method actor, usually. And then again, I'm usually doing comedy roles. I'm always the stoner or the best friends. I'm always doing the comedy roles. And it's I don't really have to method act those roles, because when they give me the script, I can just feel it. I'm like, I know these people, or I'm friends with these people, or I just feel it. With this role, I was like, I've never lived in the 1940s.
Nope. Right?
I can't. I was like, I cannot be persuaded, or not persuaded, but I cannot be influenced by technology right now. I don't want any part of my day-to-day dialogue for the next week to be something I heard on TikTok. You know,
Right.
I wanted to make sure that I was sticking true, and so it wasn't really like method acting, but I would say it would be method preparation,
There you go.
like
I
method
like it.
rehearsing.
I like it. And look, dude, from everything we're hearing and from everything that we know and what you've said, it sounds like your days of stoner roles might be over, dude.
Right.
I feel like this thing might launch you, my friend.
Thank you, man. Thank you. And you know what? When you guys see the movie, depending on how much material they kept in there, I think Forbert could have even been a stoner in the 40s.
Yeah. And why not? Nothing wrong with it. I would be. If I was in the situation, I'd be like, lighten up. It's all right.
It's all good. It's all good, man. Oh my goodness. I'm so excited about this film, man. Just to hear the passion coming from like your voice talking about it and your experience on set, like I'm just super excited because I mean that's what it's all about, doing something you love to do. And like we said, like it coming out of your voice and hearing the inflection in the tone is just amazing. So I'm super pumped.
Thank you so much, man.
So what do you got coming up, man? Talk about some stuff you got coming up after Greyhound. What are you working on?
Oh wow, God, dude, it's crazy. Shortly after Greyhound, the cast director, I want to give her a shout out. Megan, she's amazing. Megan Lewis, she's incredible. She's an amazing person. She's won Emmys for casting. She did Straight Outta Compton. She's an amazing cast director.
Yeah.
And after nailing Greyhound and doing a good job on the film, she called me in and she said, "Hey, I've got an audition for you for Bill and Ted 3." And then she called me and she's like, I got an audition for you, Silent Bob.
The reboot?
The reboot.
There you go.
Yeah.
So for Face the Music and for the reboot, I had auditions for awesome parts in both those films. But Katie McCucci got the part in the Jane Silent Bob movie, and I don't know who got my part I auditioned for in Bill and Ted. But I was kind of like persuaded, getting to the point where I was like, hey, I got this part with Tom Hanks. But what if just that's how fate works, and no one else wants me in another one of the movies.
Right.
So I decided, I was going to try to do things differently. And I told myself the next audition she gives me, I'm going to go in there. I'm going to be just as prepared as I was for the Greyhound film, even though it might just be a cameo character, even though it might just be, So she throws an audition at me, and it was for Jamie Foxx and Joseph Gordon-Levitt's new movie, Project Power. And it seemed like such a good movie, man. It was so good. And even though I'd worked with Tom Hanks post Greyhound, waiting for it to come out, I still needed to have a day job. So I was working fixing phones in Louisiana, and got the call that I was going to be on Jamie Foxx and Joseph Gordon-Levitt's movie. And so the next thing coming out is going to be August 14th on Netflix. The Netflix original from Henry Joost and Ariel Schulman. They're the directors of Nerve with Emma Robertson. They're also the directors of Paranormal Activities 3 and 4.
Fantastic, man.
I'm really excited about that, man. That's an insane, like comic booky, special effects driven, just like almost like an anti-superhero movie. It's really great.
That's awesome. It puts you in a whole different realm than what you're normally used to.
Yeah.
So I love that. I love how you're in these new approaches. You're stepping outside of the box of what you first got cast as. So I mean, you're trying to experience new things as well. So that's awesome, man.
Definitely.
It sounds like it's going to be an epic summer, dude. With July and August coming for you, it's going to be big, dude.
Right, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. Dude.
Yeah, that I mean, with freaking everything going on, and with how the entertainment industry is right now with social media and everything, what are your opinions on that? Do you think social media is kind of necessary as like a marketing tool for actors trying to be an up and comer in the entertainment industry, or do you think it's not really anything important? What is your opinions on social media?
I think it's back and forth. I think that if you have a big social media following that's not, you didn't pay for the likes, or you didn't pay for the followers. If they're real people, they will engage in what you're promoting. And if they like you, if you share a post to 50,000 people, then that's going to at least bring another 20,000 to watch a movie.
Right.
Which seems like a good deal. But I don't think it's necessary, because I think where 20,000 people would come see your film from watching it on Instagram, most of those people that are on Instagram all the time don't watch movies anymore.
Yeah.
They're driven by short, just nothingness videos that they'll watch and forget in a week, and it's kind of sad, because I like the long storytelling, well composed cinematography that just draws you in a way that you can't get from anything else. Like when you watch a movie like Saving Private Ryan, you feel like you're going through it with them.
Yeah.
You feel like you're going through the whole battle. And I got to the point where I was like, man, I use social media strictly just as like a photo bucket for myself. Like I'll put something that I'm happy or proud about on there. I don't care if it gets likes or anything. And I'm just like, this is cool, and I love just being able to share that. And one day when I'm gone, my grandkids can see it hopefully, or if someone downloaded it and saved it, they can just be like, oh yeah, this is all the stuff that he did to get where he was, and then maybe they can be inspired. But what I think right now is most important is that these entertainers, these actors, these musicians, they keep pushing as hard as they can against the grain and just produce great entertainment, because there's a lot of people in this world that are depressed or have anxiety or have just already have bipolar issues or problems, and now they have to deal with the state of the world, and they don't even I know that it's hard for us to leave the house. We have to wear a mask and stuff, but they don't even want to leave their house at all. Mm-hmm. So they're spending more money delivering food to their house. They don't have jobs. Those stimulus checks are going to run out sooner or later. And if we don't brighten up their day, if we don't do something to just inspire them, give them a story that'll make them get off their ass and go outside and just throw a frisbee with their kids or something, and not be so afraid to go outside. Like they need it more than ever right now. So I don't think sitting on Instagram and just constantly posting, or just constantly staying on TikTok and doing little tiny videos, I don't think it's doing enough. I think what we need more than ever right now is for someone to go out and paint a mural on the side of a mall, or for someone to go out and do a local community theater performance with social distancing audience rules, where people can still see that you can still be happy, regardless of what you hear,
Absolutely.
Regardless of what popular media tries to tell you. You don't have to constantly digest the worst news and let it ruin your life.
That's it, man. And I always love hearing artists come on here and say that they feel a responsibility with their platform to do things for others. And we could not agree with you more, man. We absolutely think art is important. We think that there is a need for that content out there. And it does help people get through the struggle. It really does, man. And it's nice to hear somebody recognize that and want to be a part of that, man.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, man. And what we like to do at the end of each interview is have our guests leave a little piece of advice for the up-and-comers trying to break into it. And what pitfalls would you say to try to avoid? And I mean, you kind of gave a little advice earlier, but what would be like your main piece of advice that you would tell like an upcoming actor, an up-and-coming director, anything like that?
Listen. More than you talk. Listen. Because when you're on set, they are busy. I know so many people who are like, oh, I'm an extra. That's my foot in the door. It's not. You're an extra so that you can learn. You're an extra so that you can help someone else make their dream come true first. So if you listen, you can learn more than you could ever pay for. You'll learn more by being an extra or being a PA or being just a friend to someone who's working in the industry. You can learn more by listening to them, and you can take that to your own career. And then once you're out of their time and you're not on their time and their money, then you start, promoting yourself. Then you start going for headshots. And then once you have the headshots, you don't need an agent to get a lead role in sci-fi. I got a lead role in sci-fi without an agent. All I needed was headshots. That was it. So, yeah, so like once you get, your first part, whether it be like a one-liner or something, then you'll get an agent. And then your agent will help get you the bigger auditions. And when that day comes, when you have a very professional and fully dedicated agent that starts getting you auditions for beefy parts in major motion pictures, don't look for anything else. Your life will never change after that point. You might, money might come and go, friends might come and go, fame might come and go, but that is the career tipping point. Once you start getting those auditions and you do the auditions well, if you start booking, it'll lead to more auditions, better auditions, but just take it seriously, but also know that when you're an extra and you're on set, you're not there to be the star. Don't try to steal the camera. Don't try to force yourself into the shot just so you can tell your parents, look, that's me in the movie. Do what they need you there for, and they'll appreciate it much, much more.
That is seriously solid advice, man. Seriously solid. It's always best to listen and learn and take that knowledge with you, right? Dude, yeah, that's fantastic. I mean, listen, this has been an incredible interview, bro. We have had a lot of fun talking to you, and just the enthusiasm that you have for what you do is no doubt going to inspire a lot of our listeners to try to continue to pursue that dream, man, because you're proof that it can happen, man, and continued success to you. I know, like I said, I think it's going to be a huge summer between the two projects for you, and we can't wait for everybody to see it. And open invite, man. Anytime you want to come back on the show and promote some stuff, or just come on and shoot the shit with us, bro. Open invite.
Absolutely, man. Well, hey, August 14th, Project Power comes out on Netflix, so it'll be close to August 14th. We come, and if there's a trailer, we can talk about it.
Hell
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. And be sure to tell everybody where they can follow you. We know you're kind of like on the low key, but where are you on Instagram or are you on Twitter? Where can they follow you, bro?
I am on Instagram. I'm not on Instagram under the name Joseph Poliquin because I'd like to let Instagram be a place that only like hardcore fans or friends can find.
There you go.
But you can find me under JOESY_Pelican.
Awesome.
Pelican's actually the nickname that Dale Dye and Tom Hanks gave me.
Oh, nice.
Nice. Fitting for Louisiana, bro. You can. Seems
Exactly,
perfect.
man.
Well, listen, dude. Have a great rest of the day, man. We really appreciate you coming
You too.
on. It was a good time, man.
Y'all too, man. Y'all too. You're awesome.
Oh,
All right,
thanks,
brother.
bro.
We'll be talking to you soon.
Thank you. Take care, y'all.
Yep.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
What an epic guy. Definitely an up-and-comer trying to get his foot in the door, and did. Like, I mean, as you can tell, like, from the auditioning process for Greyhound and not doing the same preparation, like, it shows.
Yeah.
It shows, and he just got back to the grind and started putting his, like, full dedication to it, which is awesome.
And I got to tell you, that's the first time I've ever heard any of our guests or anybody that I'm familiar with in the industry say that they got the job, but they didn't really have the job
Yeah,
yet.
right.
It's like, congratulations, you got the job, but then you still had the audition.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, what? I've never heard that before, so
No.
that's pretty awesome. And I think it's really inspiring, though. I think the one thing that everybody should take away from this is, like, no matter what kind of a situation your life is in, if it seems like it's really dark or just everything is kind of going wrong and it just seems like that, life sucks, that's right before all the good shit happens.
Yeah,
You guys just
exactly.
got to hang in there, stay inspired, stay motivated, because right when you think it's the worst, that's when the best is right around the corner. And he's proof of that, man.
Exactly. I mean, Point freaking multiple times gotten off track, but something put him back on track.
Exactly.
So-
Exactly. So stick with it, y'all.
Exactly. Thank you again, Joseph, for coming on the show.
Are you ready?
I'm sad
I
already.
know, I know. That was such an inspiring interview and so great and uplifting and woo! And now it's time to cry.
Now it's time to cry. I mean, the past. I can't talk today.
No, it's all good.
I-
At least you're not Richard Dean Morgan.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But I mean, the past couple of weeks, I mean, we want to show our personal side and let down
true.
our guard a little bit. So this week is top 5 artists that has passed away too soon. A lot of good ones that honestly inspired me a lot, and especially a lot of musicians that just left a great piece of art back, like, from, it's just so sad.
It is sad. It is sad. I hope you guys are ready. Get the tissues ready, because we're gonna reminisce, and it's not pretty.
It's not.
Okay, who's your number 5?
Number 5 for me, Paul Walker. I cried like a baby when freaking episode 7, or movie 7 of Fast and Furious came out, and they did his little send-off, which don't fucking bring him back, by the way.
Yeah, don't do it.
That'd
Don't
be
do it.
so disrespectful, I think. But I cried like a baby when I saw this. I was a fan of the first couple Fast and Furious before they went off the deep end. And Takers and just so many other Paul Walker freaking movies that he was in. He was just such an inspiration, and especially the way he was with his daughter and just things like that. And I was really sad to see this one.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Paul Walker. I've always loved him, and yeah, that was a tough one. And then especially, the way he went out.
Yeah.
I mean, with no fault of his, the car fucked up.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's tragic, and yeah, that's a tough one. That's tough. My number 5. None of our listeners are probably old enough to remember, but it's an important one.
Yeah.
Rebecca Schaefer. Rebecca Schaefer starred with Pam Dauber, Mork and Mindy Pam Dauber, in a show called My Sister Sam, and was tragically killed when a fan/stalker showed up and killed her. Very young. She's a teenager, early 20s maybe. Basically started off on soap operas, kind of made her big breakthrough, got onto this primetime show and was living the dream at a very young age. Got a stalker, was sending her fan mail, got out of hand, got kind of creepy, unfortunately was able to find her home address, was able to found her and killed her. And all of the stalking laws that are now in place for celebrities are because of Rebecca Schaefer.
Yeah.
Because of what happened to her, they changed everything to try to control this. So her death was tragic and sad, but it it played heavily into now how celebrities are guarded and protected, and the stalker laws that we have in place. So while tragic, it helped a lot of people, her death.
Yeah.
And but yeah, you just don't want to hear about that. You finally get your big break. You're finally on a primetime show. You're living the dream, and boom, somebody shows up.
Well, and like we talk about each and every week with celebrities and people who we bring into the company, especially regarding the podcast, trying to book guests, they're just people. You don't need to be obsessed with them or afraid of them, or they're just people. They're human beings that this is their job. They're just doing a job. They're doing their 9 to 5 in their own way. So it's very unfortunate, especially an incident like that.
Yeah, I mean, and nowadays too, though, I just as far as we've come, I feel like you can still find them pretty easy.
Well, I mean,
Google
especially
Earth and,
with
like,
with social media, like you just post a picture in your backyard, somebody can go and try to find that shit. It's so scary.
It is. I mean, I don't know. Anyway, tough one.
Yeah. Number 4 for me is, I mean, these two right neck and neck, and I mean, their deaths have to deal a lot with each other. Tupac Shakur and Biggie Smalls, Chris Wallace. Honestly, like, this goes to show that people can get like engulfed in the industry and get surrounded by the wrong people to where possibly some wrong rumors get spread, and then especially being in like the rap game is really tied to the street still. It's they're both very parallel. So for something like this, to surround yourself with people who you probably grew up with and probably just tried to get them out of that life, but they're still in that life, and then once you say something about somebody, then they want to do something about it, and it's very unfortunate because these two are still regarded as like the two most influential hip-hop artists ever. Like, they're number 1 and number 2, or 1 and 2, or 1 and 1. Like, because they're both just super lyrical, super have a message and everything like that. But because they had a quote-unquote beef that I still blame Suge Knight on.
Without doubt.
It was definitely a rivalry between Suge Knight and P. Diddy. And these two just got caught in the crossfire.
Agreed.
And it's super unfortunate because, like I said, they were both early 20s. So it's so sad.
Yeah, huge fan of Tupac.
Yeah.
Fan. I don't know. I'm hoping that Tupac is not.
Yeah, there's a lot of conspiracy theory about that.
I mean, and apparently a lot of solid stuff to back it up. I don't know. I mean, I'm not trying to throw out any kind of but I mean, it's just tragic, like you said. I mean, that because they both had so much to contribute and so much to give to the world, and to die over something stupid is ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree.
Speaking of the dark side of the industry and the dark side of Hollywood, my number 4, River Phoenix. Just another tragic story of an incredible talent, an incredible human being getting caught up in the dark side, in the drugs and the alcohol, to the point where it consumed him and took his life. You know, this guy died. You know, everybody knows the story. Just, you know, tragically dropped dead outside the Viper Room on the sidewalk from an overdose. And I mean,
with his siblings around him too.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
And just, you know, and I mean, look, we've all seen Joaquin. I mean, the whole family has struggled.
Yeah.
Okay, and overcome things and done things. But River, just go, if you ever doubted River or ever wondered about this man's talent, go back and watch Stand By Me and just look at him as a young guy and what he was bringing to that film and to this industry, and to have him die like that at such a young age, and to lose that.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, you got to be aware going into this industry that there's a dark side.
Yeah.
You got to surround yourself. Look at Drew Barrymore way back, getting caught up at like fucking 9.
At Studio 54 and shit. Like, yeah, and it's super unfortunate about River because he was such a huge activist for environmental things and also like animal things as well. So yeah, it's super unfortunate, and like he was also a musician, leading a front man of a band, and it's crazy, man.
It's nuts.
Yeah,
it's nuts.
It really is. Number 3 for me is Kurt Cobain. A lot of conspiracy theory around this one as well. If Courtney hired someone to do it, if she did it herself. But this is literally the king of grunge. He was like I felt like, at least in my time, obviously he came a little bit before me, but growing up as a preteen and into a teenager, you always feel like not a lot of people can relate to you or connect to you or gone through the same things you have gone through. And this guy, like, he was his real self always. He never hid his addiction or his mental health problems with depression or anything like that. So I feel like this was a huge loss, especially to the music community and just everybody around him. I mean, we all know that Dave Grohl furthered on and started the Foo Fighters and did all that, but he's still impacted by Kurt Cobain's death. And it's crazy.
There are so many musicians. I think anybody from the '90s on who has come out has been, influenced in some way by Kurt. It's tragic loss, and like you said, there's so many floated theories about what really happened. What really happened is we lost a great artist.
Exactly.
Way too soon. I can only imagine what this guy would be doing right now. I mean, it would be epic. I mean, this guy was a musician from top to bottom. Just, crazy loss.
Yeah.
Number 3, for me, Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
In that same vein, I want to say I can only imagine what this guy would be doing right now had he lived. I mean, and it was tragic. It was scary because this guy was like the epitome of health.
Yeah.
This guy was like about as fit and in as shape as you can get, as clean living as you could be, and just dead.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the
That one
fuck?
was like really random because he got like randomly sick or something, right?
Yeah,
and
just
then like
boom.
died.
I mean, it was his whole family, man. Just it
And then his
seems
son,
I wanted to put his son. Brandon Lee also with the crazy way to go out with a blank bullet. I mean, it's so crazy.
Yeah.
But that talk about another ridiculously talented guy who probably had so much to contribute to the world had he lived. Just tragic.
Yeah,
Tragic.
I agree. Number 2 for me is Jimi Hendrix. This man, not a lot of people know, obviously rock god, but he was also a U.S. veteran. He was a part of the Air Force, and I mean, this guy also, he did a lot of drugs and then threw up and choked to death. So, I mean, like you said, the dark side of the industry is very scary, especially for musicians. Obviously actors too, because we have some of those on here as well. But especially for the music industry, like, drugs are way too influenced by music, and it's really scary to think about.
Yeah, and it's interesting because our lists are balanced between the musicians and the actors, and what you said is really interesting to me because a lot of it on the music side is drugs.
Yeah.
Right, and a lot of it where you're going to see from my final 2 or on the Hollywood side is mental.
Exactly.
It's mental issues. The dark side on both industries consumes you and eats you up, and so my number 2. Robin Williams.
Yeah.
The epitome of, you think this guy's rocking and rolling and as happy as can be and is just living life large, but really hiding it for years and years and decades about how depressed he really was. What this industry and the fame and everything did to this man, to where he gets to the point where he feels like he's got to take his own life at the end. It's tragic.
It is.
I mean, there's nobody on the face of this planet that can argue the genius of Robin Williams and what he brought to the community and the table. There's nobody that can argue that. And to think that this man was suffering for so many years behind that smile, behind that craziness, is just tragic.
Yeah.
And I mean, guys, mental health is real, and it's something we got to really look out for, man.
Yeah, I agree. Well, it brings me to my number 1, which is something that's very scary and something that a lot of celebrities in general, musicians, actors, everybody deals with. My number 1 is Heath Ledger. Everybody knows, I've talked about it before, one of my all-time favorite actors. I've loved everything he's ever done, especially when he go back to his Australian films before he even came over to America. Then, of course, 10 Things, Ned Kelly, all these different Sex and Candy.
The Patriot.
The Patriot's so good.
Yeah.
So, but this one, too many doctors prescribing him too many different medications. And he was just trying to get some sleep and then fell asleep forever.
So many that way.
It's so scary.
Tom Petty, Prince, Michael Jackson,
all
died that way.
Yeah.
Doctors trying to take control. Oh, you need this, you need this, you need this, you need that. It's tragic.
It's so scary.
It is crazy.
And especially, I can imagine, probably these people, it's hard to trust people. And when you do try to trust people, especially doctors who are supposed to help you and cure you and help you get better, and it go through like this, it's just absolutely insane.
It is. Okay, and now my number one, and I think it's the epitome of what Hollywood can do to you. The dark side of the business and the industry. Marilyn Monroe. This is Norma Jean Baker. Okay, Marilyn Monroe was a creation of Hollywood. To Norma's credit, she nailed it. Marilyn Monroe was an image. It was a character, and she nailed it. The problem is that it became all too consuming. And when it happened and Hollywood gets a hold of you and all of a sudden you're in all the wrong circles. We talk about this all the time about surround yourself with the right people. Surround yourself about what's, and she was caught up in a world of hurt with the wrong people and ended up dying for it. And, it's tragic. Everybody kind of knows, what happened. We all have our theories. I know for a fact this woman did not take her own life. There was no way she was popping pills till the end.
Yeah.
Okay? We know this went down the way it went down, and because of her affairs with both the Kennedy brothers and the ties to the mafia and all the kind of stuff, it's just tragic. This woman literally, the mental collapse that she had because of the shit she was put through in this industry is insane.
Yeah.
And she will forever be an eternal 36.
Oh, yeah.
Too
Always.
young, and just I can't stress enough the dark side of this industry, be it music or film and television. Just it can get you guys, and mental health. You got to stay strong, surround yourself with the right people, and just. If you're having problems, tell somebody.
Exactly.
Reach out. Get some help.
Exactly.
Because we don't want to be doing this list with you at some point.
Exactly.
Okay?
It's not good to hold things in.
It's not.
It's not. But thank you guys for watching this and listening to this, of course. Let us know what your top 5 actors who are gone too soon, because we know, you look at all these representations of living life on film and television or in music, you relate to all this so much. So what actors that were gone too soon did you relate to the most, and what top 5 actors hit you the most during this time? Because I know there's a lot. If you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe and do all those great things. We appreciate you guys. Please leave the comments down below. Definitely.
Be very interested to hear what they have to say, because I'm guessing, like our lists, it would be so broad and so ranged.
Yeah, exactly. Well, now it's time for the top 5 segment.
Yes.
Or not the top 5 segment. We just did the top 5 segment. It was so sad that I'm literally stuck there.
No, you're fine. It's good.
Box office recap, I'm saying. Number 1 was Relic. It's really interesting because, we talked about last week, all of the fandom films hit the top 5 of the box office last week. But now it's going back to the indie stuff.
Yeah.
The stuff that was coming out during Corona. Number 1 was Relic. That pulled in 164,000. It's been 3 weeks since its release. Number 2 was Archive with 39,000. It's been 2 weeks since that release.
Yep.
Number 3 was Followed with 27,000. It's been 5 weeks since that one. Number 4 was The Wretched with 11,000. It's been 12 weeks. That one's been rocking and rolling.
Yes, Jameson Jones.
Yeah, be sure to go back and listen to our interview with Jameson Jones. He was an epic guy to talk to. Just badass all around. And number 5 was Becky. Aunt Becky with
Fuck Aunt Becky.
6,000 and 6 weeks since it's
I think it's interesting because that this kind of came back into the top 5, right? Like you said, the fandom things, but all of these are heavily playing in drive-ins throughout the country right now. So the drive-in movies are kind of seeing that resurgence into the top 5, which is really interesting because, as we talked about in the industry news segment, no end in sight as to when the theaters are opening again.
No one really knows what's going to happen, and we wish for the best, man. We really do. We wish for the best. Now it is time for the IMDbPro Top Trending segment Oh man, we love this freaking app. Everybody knows we get all of our industry news from this app for the industry news segment. You can track our company and our podcast on IMDb Pro. Be sure to do that because you can see how many and who came on our show and how many guests we've had. So many amazing people. We got Spencer Garrett. We got Mr. Feeney. We got so many great ones. Ed Asner. Just so many.
Victor Newman himself. Eric
himself.
Braden.
Yes.
Just
get IMDb Pro, guys. It's definitely worth it.
Yes.
The top trending movie this week is The Old Guard, which is very interesting because I have no idea.
That's the one with Charlize Theron, right? I believe
maybe. Yeah. Let's see what the Bible says.
Let's consult.
Yes, and I mean you are correct. This is that Netflix film that I believe they're already making a sequel to. They're in talks of making a sequel.
Yep.
So that's really free. I mean, I'm guessing they said I saw a lot of memes on Twitter and everything. It's like basically the female version of Extraction with Chris Hemsworth.
Which makes sense.
It does make sense.
I mean, you know.
And for the top trending show is Dark. Netflix still killing it with that show. I mean, we really got to check it out.
We do.
Because, I mean, fuck. And the top trending star is Kelly Preston.
For the wrong reasons.
She
lost the battle with breast cancer like we talked about at the show last week. And, I mean, it's sad, but it makes sense because when somebody passes that's on a level like Kelly Preston was, she gets a lot of play. A lot of people go and check her out.
Yeah.
Watch her old movies and watch her old TV shows. And what better way to find out where you can watch that on IMDb Pro?
Yeah. I agree. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for getting a little crazy with us on episode 122 of Inside the Crazy Ant Farm. We got to thank our buddy one more time, Joseph Poliquin, for coming on the show.
Yeah.
Be sure to follow him on Instagram. He's not on Twitter, but be sure to follow him and watch Greyhound.
Woo, be ready,
Tom
though.
Hanks.
Intense ride.
Yeah, buddy. Be sure to follow the company on social media at Crazy Ant Media. We're everywhere. And be sure to follow the podcast on social media. ItCaf Podcast on Instagram and Twitter. Everybody knows we started our new social media platforms for the podcast specifically because this thing has got so big. Now it is time to say subscribe to us personally. Myself at JLo Fantastic and
Crazy Ant Guy 1970.
Oh, buddy, you got it. And of course, subscribe to this podcast anywhere you listen to your podcast. Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play Music, iHeartRadio, YouTube, and you guys know that you can watch us on YouTube. Hit that like button to the video, subscribe, ring that bell, and do all those great, beautiful things on YouTube so you can stay up to date with Crazy Ant Media and Inside the Crazy Ant Farm because, we put shit out at least 3 times a week. And, I mean, you guys know we like to get crazy. And if you like to get crazy, this is the place for you.
We're busy.
That's right. And, of course, be sure to visit our website, crazyantmedia.com, where you can start rocking the latest and greatest Crazy Ant Media gear. You see the shirts, the hats, you see the other shirts. It's just beautiful new shirts designs every month.
Yes.
I mean, and I gotta say, probably my favorite part of the episode was Netflix. Netflix had a lot of good shit.
Netflix is killing it right now.
Yeah.
They came out with a strong second quarter. They're leading the pack. They got a bunch of new shit coming out. They're like, we are still here, guys.
Yeah.
And Ted Sarandos, remember, he's
there.
going to be taking that ship soon, so it's going to be like, woo!
Exactly.
And of course, I really, really enjoyed the interview because it is that you can do it moment, and
for sure.
So really inspiring, a great part of the show.
Definitely. And one of the best parts of the show is the end where we get to honor the one and only Oprah!